Are you a fellow mom looking to make a legitimate professional income around your lifestyle? If so, then I hope you consider enrolling in my new Home Bookkeeper Masterclass. This class has everything I personally used to build and scale my very own bookkeeping business from the comforts of home. Freelance is the future, and with today's cloud-based programs and technology, you have the ability to work whenever and wherever you wish. Included in the Home Bookkeeper Masterclass are all the insights on building, branding, and marketing your very own bookkeeping business, a pro advisor study guide to help you pass the optional and free QuickBooks Online certification exam, and a business resource guide full of all of my favorite products that I use at EDJ Consulting, plus a free gift just for you. To check out the Home Bookkeeper and enroll in the online masterclass, visit www.emmadon.com. Hey, wine moms, and thank you for listening to this MW Network and Emma Don production. Now available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, themommywines.com, and wherever else you get your favorite podcasts. For exclusive content and early access, make sure to tune in on Patreon.
Perfect. Hello.
Hi.
Oh my God, that was so easy.
That was way easy.
I don't know if it's because Anchor is a new platform, or I know they recently updated their app, but
Yeah.
I have had to walk every single person through how to connect to the phone call, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, hopefully this weekend goes smooth, because all of my podcasts for the, I don't know, immediate future are now going to be all remote, even if they are local. So I'm just
I know. Can you believe it? It's just been craziness.
I know. And I feel like this area is, and I was talking about this on live, and I'm like, this area, I'm surprised so many things have already gone out of stock. Because I feel like people in Utah are just prepared. They're already so prepared. My son's grandma, well, granted, she lives in the middle of nowhere, so it's smart for her, but she has stockpiles already of stuff.
It's so true. It's kind of crazy. I mean, I was all stressed out because my grandma had passed away, so we were in California.
Aww.
And thank you. It was sad, but we were there and it was so chaotic, and we knew we were coming back, and we actually drove because of this, because I have a new baby. So I was like, let's just drive in case. I don't want to be on the airplane. And so I ended up stocking up on a few things out there because I was so stressed about getting stuff here because everyone was taking everything off the shelves at Costco.
I know. I'm surprised so many of these people have room, because in my neighborhood, I'm down in South Jordan. So when I take my son to daycare or whatever, and I'm on my way to work, people, if they leave their garage door open, or fellow neighbors in my area.
Yeah.
It's already full. Why are you buying more? Leave it for the people who aren't trying to get on a TLC show.
I know, right? Well, and now Costco won't let those people return any of the things that they hoarded on. So that's funny too, because it's see, you shouldn't be crazy. It's not the end of the world. We just have to be good, cautious humans.
Yes.
So you all have heard me talk about Real Good Foods before. If you follow me on Instagram, and if you don't, you definitely should, you'll have seen Milo devouring the Real Good Foods pizza. Well, my favorite frozen food company is now launching ice cream. Real good ice cream. No icy or chalky texture like other light ice creams. It's made with fresh milk and cream, giving it that smooth, creamy goodness we all love. On a sweet note, there's only 4 grams of sugar. The new Real Good ice creams are sweetened with allulose, a naturally occurring sweetener found in things like figs and dates. This rare sugar has 1/10 of the calories of typical cane sugars, leaving this guilt-free frozen treat with a low 180 calories per serving. You can find this Real Good ice cream online at Real Good Foods and Vitamin Shop.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Mommy Wines podcast. I am your host, as always, Emma Dawn, and today on the show, I am joined by SLC local and real estate empress. She earned a premier award as a top producer at Realty One in 2019 while baking a bun in her oven. She is a mommy boss who loves to work hard and play even harder. This year, she has decided to expand her real estate empire and start up a family biz, which I honestly cannot wait to hear more about. Opal House.
Thank you.
You're welcome. To keep up with her and all of life's crazy chaos, join her on IG at, is it Rachel Hague?
It's Rachelle Hague.
Rachelle
yeah.
_ Hague _ Realtor, and at Opal House, which is so much easier, or Opal House Real Estate.
Yep.
So please help me welcome to the show, Rachelle Hague.
Yay. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. This is my first podcast, so this is pretty
Really?
cool. Yeah.
I cannot believe you haven't been on more.
I love it. I'm so excited about it. I mean, I feel like this is really what the wave, especially now that we're all stuck at home. I mean, this is what everyone's doing. So it's pretty cool to have some social interaction like this, you know?
Yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm normally a homebody anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm not originally from here, so I don't even know that many people in the area. But I am even starting to struggle. So I'm kind of thinking what about all those people who are extroverts or social butterflies? They must be dying inside.
I have a few friends that are like that. And honestly, we will Marco Polo is a good app that you can use. Or sometimes we just FaceTime and our kids will FaceTime. I was let's start playing games over FaceTime.
Oh my gosh. I know. I've been looking on Instagram and so many people are we are just dying inside.
Yeah, it's been so crazy. And even one of the nicest things that I've noticed is even my gyms have been doing a lot of live videos, so you can actually work out at home or doing things with your kids. I mean, I feel like people are at least being creative, which is helpful.
That is true. And I'm so excited because I love these recording weekends just because I don't interact too much because I work from home and all of this stuff. So I'm I love these recording weekends. I record when my son goes to visit his dad.
Oh, nice.
So it's nice because I can sit down, have a glass of wine, talk to another adult.
Seriously, the adult interaction is where it's at. I've missed it so much this last week, especially. I've hunkered down at home quite a bit, with my kids, and I really have been going a little stir crazy. So
Attention, calling all wine moms. With the amount of wine and coffee I drink, my teeth started to look a little dull and dingy. However, I found the fastest and most affordable solution that makes my pearly whites sparkle, and that is ActiveWell. ActiveWell has everything you need to maintain a shining smile. Whitening kits, toothpaste, on-the-go pens, and so much more. Use code MOMMYWINES20 at checkout when you try the premium or natural charcoal whitening goodies from ActiveWell. Available on Amazon, Target, or ActiveWow.com. Make sure to use code MOMMYWINES20.
So this is a question I have for you because I am always looking on Zillow.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I'm on Zillow because I've been here about a year and a half. So I think it's time for me to start I've kind of experienced different neighborhoods and I've really been looking at buying a house.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm always looking, but I've noticed that there's so many that are doing video tours.
Yes.
And or you can contact a realtor and schedule a FaceTime or some kind of, I guess, web conference where they can go around and show the house virtually.
Yes. Yeah, we're honestly offering so many different things right now. First of all, a lot of people look on Zillow first, but sometimes their information is not always as accurate. So it's always good to get yourself connected with a realtor that's local, just because we have access to our MLS here and it actually will show up, the right way. I've had a few clients that like to look on Zillow, and by the time they get to me, the information is not accurate. So it's always good to connect with someone local. And then right now, just with the COVID-19, some of the precautions everyone's taking, really the biggest ones, it's all up to each individual person. I've had some clients say, I'd still like to go, see a home. And I'm like, well, this one's vacant, so that'll make it a little easier. I wear gloves. Like, really, we're just doing everything we can to still kind of keep everything going with the market and the economy, because it still is just as busy as it was. It hasn't changed.
Oh, I'm sure. And from me not being from here, I kind of moved in at like this whole, like a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And even when I first looked at the Salt Lake area, I was looking down in Harriman, that at the time, a few years ago, I was like, oh, I like this cute little farm town. I'm close enough to the city. If I want to go there, I can.
Yeah.
But now it's like the city of Harriman.
Yeah.
And
it's like blown up.
So I was kind of curious, and maybe you can answer this. Obviously, the COVID-19 is not going to be slowing anything down.
Right.
But what is happening in this market? Like, because I've met people who are like, oh, I've lived here my whole life, or I've been here 10 years and nothing was this expensive, or
yes, it's true.
Everything has just gone up in price and the towns have just exploded.
Yeah. So talking about Harriman, I'll just give you a little tidbit on me. My very first house that I bought when I was 20 was a condo that was actually in Harriman. And I bought that
so cute
for like $175,000 back
Shut up.
in the day. Yeah. So, I mean, that just goes to show like where we were to where we are now. But the biggest thing I feel like has just really been the growth we've been getting, especially like in the Silicon Slopes area with all these techie companies. We're getting a lot of people that are coming in from out of state. And a lot of those people are coming from a saturated market. So you have to understand that they're coming here where they've been paying $1 million for a house that's the size, for a house that's maybe 500,000 here.
Yeah.
So they're coming with cash a lot of times, or they're getting incentives from these companies. So I feel like that influx of people has really kind of made our market expand to where it is now. The demand's getting higher. Millennials are quite a bit smarter as far as like, let's purchase something instead of renting, so I just think people are wanting to own something and actually have an investment for themselves, which is really what real estate is,
Yeah, that is so true.
Warmer weather is just around the corner, so make sure to stock up on all your shorts, tees, and tanks from Zaya Active. Zaya has something for the whole family, with the always popular and growing men's collection, and even new kids and junior sizes. As always, you'll find your favorite premium leggings, with new items being made from recycled water bottles. I just picked up the purple bomber bra, and it is so soft, and I swear the quality might even be better than the original. Shop the Mommy Wines podcast event on myzaya.com/Emma for your order number to be automatically entered into a spring raffle. For your chance to win, head over to myzaya.com/Emma today.
I know. I feel like I just need eventually. I'm actually going through a lawsuit right now.
Oh no.
No, well, not on me. I'm not being sued. I'm suing someone.
Oh, okay, good. Well, then that's fine.
So I kind of like, I don't know. I've been really just like been sick of renting.
Yeah.
2 episodes ago, because this is going to go up this Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 episodes ago, I was talking about I rented a townhouse when I first moved here. Well, not when I first moved here, but I rented like a townhouse because I was like, okay, like I need more space, but like I still don't know a lot of the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And the elderly woman who owned it was like, like it's too much of a hassle to deal, with this investment property. I'm going to sell it. And it sold in like a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she listed it, and it was the only townhouse in like the South Jordan Daybreak area that was under 300,000.
Right.
And which is crazy because I'm from like a tiny suburban town in Ohio. So I'm like, who could ever spend 300,000 on a townhouse?
It's true.
But it sold in a day. People, and like it was a herd. Like,
Yeah.
the only thing I could think of to like compare the people coming in and out of that townhouse was like the Stampede and Lion King. Like, that is literally like people were like knocking on my door because I was a renter. I was living there. People were like knocking on my door and like not even asking me to like invite them in. They were just like showing up, knocking on the door, pushing me aside. They came in when I was like not even wearing pants.
Oh no.
And it was like a dog eat dog situation.
It really is. It's crazy because, you know, I feel like still anything under the 300 mark is like people are just, they're fiends over it, you know, because it's just not, I mean, it's not something you see very much. And really, even with like, so we had our housing forecast just in January. And basically the housing forecast tells us, which has a bunch of economists, whatnot, you know, that this year the townhome community and owning townhomes is just going to be on the rise just because it is more affordable. But like the base price of a townhome nowadays, honestly, is, if you're lucky, just right under that 300 mark. If not, you're more like 350, honestly. So it's,
it just hurts my soul.
It's crazy. It really is. I mean, they are bigger now than they used to be, you know, like I feel like you're getting at least like 1,500 to 2,000 square feet maybe. But yeah, it's kind of nuts, especially when, you know, a lot of people, first time home buyers especially, are like, we want to own a house, we want to have some yard, we want to have this, you know, and it's just, it's hard to find those things because they're not as available right now. But
see, I kind of love a townhouse because it's just me and my son.
Yeah.
And like they normally have an HOA, which a lot of people don't like, but I love a good HOA.
Yeah.
Like mow my grass, shovel my snow.
Right.
Like
have a pool for me. Let me go to the gym.
Pool.
We're good.
Yes, I love an HOA because if I were to go out and like buy a house, pay for a landscaper, find, I don't know, some 15-year-old kid or some neighbor guy to like shovel my snow and then have people like maintain a pool or like learn how to do it myself somehow. That would be really expensive.
It would.
So, and my son swims every single day.
Oh, how cute.
Every day. He's like, pool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you know, the HOAs are so nice. And honestly, I mean, townhomes are great. People love them. You get a nice sense of community. It's just, they're fun. I sold a couple last year, and one specifically that stands out to me was this community that was actually an edge home. So another great thing about townhomes is there's a lot of new builds with townhomes, and you can always use a realtor for that, which a lot of people don't realize that. But if you're a buyer, you always can have your own representation. So you should take someone with you. But I sold an edge one last year, and it was so cute, and it was a great community. They had a great pool. They had a workout room. They had a bunch of parks. Like, it's just such a good option for especially like younger families, you know? So much fun.
For sure. I'm not like, there are just some things like I think I would probably always have a townhouse unless I like, I don't know, just like struck gold somewhere.
Yeah.
Or if I got married, because I'm like, I'm not going to mow grass. I'm not going to shovel snow.
It's a lot of work.
Those are, well, also like I'm a single mom. So it's like, I can't make sure my kid's not, you know, climbing a wall or, you know, trying to kill himself while I'm doing these other things.
Yeah. Seriously.
So yeah, definitely. I've been thinking about, I'm going to have to reach out to you
for sure.
because after my settlement, hopefully I am just going to have to go and just dive more into different neighborhoods because
there's so many good ones.
I'm throwing so much money away renting.
It's true. And there's so many good neighborhoods in Utah. Honestly, it's hard to go wrong because it just depends where you want to be. Like, I actually live in Lehigh, which I never thought I would live in Utah County. Like, I'll be totally honest. but I found a great opportunity, and I'm glad I did because it was a great investment for the home that we bought. But you know, I love Salt Lake. Like, I'm a Salt Lake girl at heart, and I love it so much. And I've lived the downtown life, and it's super fun. And, you know, there's so many cool things, but it just depends where you want to be and what you want. But there's just so many great cities in Utah that we're really lucky because I feel like you can't go wrong. anyway.
Yeah. See, my biggest concern, and a lot of people have been saying it's going to die out, is just the really strict culture, like the extreme culture that Utah has
Yeah.
here. And like that really kind of concerns me because it's something that I'm not used to at all.
I'm
Like
sure.
like Cleveland and all like the suburbs are just these melting pots,
Yeah.
And out here it's very like one-sided. It's either you're good to go or you're just like a criminal, I feel
Right.
like. And so like that's what I've been kind of concerned with. So you're gonna have to like show me
Of
around
course.
and be like, okay, like this is a safe neighborhood for a normal
Yes,
person.
of course. No,
Like,
there's so many. Oh, there's so many things, but there's a lot of good communities. When you're ready, we'll find some good stuff for you because there's so many options. It's great. I'm glad that Utah really does have a really good market right now, and there's a lot of good options. So, there's just a few areas that I'm like, yeah, if you don't have to go there, steer clear.
okay, well, after this quick commercial break, you're gonna have to tell me about Opal
Perfect.
House.
Are you a coffee lover just like me? Sipping my morning Java is the only way I can keep up with my toddler and busy lifestyle. That's why I love Coffee Over Cardio. Coffee Over Cardio is a premium coffee company started by female entrepreneur Abby Scott. Whether you love a good flavored blend or a strong roast, Coffee Over Cardio is ideal for any jitterbug. They are also carb-free, keto-friendly, sugar-free, and gluten-free. So pretty much that means they're completely guilt-free. Try Coffee Over Cardio's most popular flavors today: French toast and new Doctor's Orders vanilla hazelnut. Yum! Make sure to use code 10EMMADAWN to save at checkout. Once again, that's 10EMMADAWN at coffeeovercardio.com.
So, yes, I am so interested in hearing more about Opal House because you said that you started this, is it a real estate design with your sister-in-law?
Yes, I did. So basically last year, usually I move around a lot. So my husband, he worked for Vivint. He is like a jack of all trades. He does lots of different things. So we have in our life together always kind of moved around and not been in one place at once. And so in the last couple of years, I finally was like, listen, okay, our kid, we have Harper, we'd like to have another baby. Like, let's hunker down and see what we can do in Utah. So we stayed, and my real estate business really took off in the last couple years. I started initially working with my mother, who she worked for a company called ARI Realty, which is really just a flat service company, but we knew the broker. So we worked with him for a while. And then with time, I was like, I think I want to try out my own stuff and see where I can take this. I got an MBA in school. So I was like, business is my thing. Like, I'm going to try something different. So last year was a great experience. It was my best year ever. And then just having my son, I just thought, hey, my sister-in-law works in real estate as well. I'm like, let's just powerhouse this together and see what we can do. So we have been working on Opal House for a little while. My aunt is actually a big wig real estate entrepreneur in California. And we went and did some training under her and kind of had her help us out a little bit. And so now we're opening up Opal House, which is still with Realty One Group. We're just kind of a team and named ourselves so that we can do some more fun stuff involved with it, like design, things like that. So
Cool.
yeah, we really love it. I mean, our first one we kicked off the year with a listing, which was in West Jordan, and we staged the whole listing. So it was like a huge stage job, which I personally love to do them. That's my forte, is the design part. So it was a blast, and that's a part of our service that we offer as well. So we do free staging with our service. Just big or small, it really is a huge thing that helps sell your home.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
for sure. There are sometimes like I'll be like, oh, this is a super cute house on Trulia or Zillow, and then I'll look at the pictures and I'm like, okay, I'm no longer interested in that house because like there's clutter
Right.
everywhere, or like you just can't get a good feel because like if their furniture isn't your taste,
Yeah.
or if they just have like a bunch of junk, or if they took the pictures when like the house wasn't
It's so
clean.
true.
It just like, it's a
Yeah,
turn off.
it really is. And so
it's like going on a date with somebody who like didn't
it's
shower.
so true. Oh my gosh. It's like going on a blind date where you're like, oh man, what did I get myself into? Yeah, so we're really excited. We just kind of launched this together, and really we worked really hard on the branding just because we want to offer a luxury level of service, and that's really what I want it to be, but I still want the process to be simple, and we just take care of you. So really that's kind of what we wanted to represent. Opal House is a lifestyle, and I love it. I mean, I want to incorporate all the things I love about it. There's more avenues I'd like to take with it that I think will come in the future, but for now we're just doing it this way, and I'll have to give you a cute little coffee mug. We have some cute swag and stuff that we've got, and
cute.
It's fun.
I love a coffee
right?
mug. I use them every day. I know I was just getting ready for our recording, and I'm sitting there and I'm like looking for my bottle of wine that I put in the fridge. And I was like realizing, I was like, okay, the only other thing I've had today as I'm pouring this bottle of like this glass of wine is like 6 cups of coffee.
Gosh.
And I'm like, okay, after this recording, I'm going to just chug a bottle of water.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I'm drinking a glass of wine with you. I was all ready to go. Got rid of my kids.
Yes.
I was like, okay, mommy's free for an hour.
Oh my gosh. I know. I used to hate it when my son would go with his dad for the weekend visits. But now it's, especially because I have taken my business like remotely pretty much full time. So I work from home, and I'm like, okay, I need to work from home. I have to have that flexibility, but it's still like challenging to do that with a kid around. And and he's 3, so he's crazy. And so like now it's like on the weekends that he's with his dad, it's where I just like power through it. Like I am up all night. Like I do my recordings, and I try to catch up on all of my work that I couldn't get to throughout the week. And I'm just like,
what a powerhouse you are, Mama.
Know.
That's crazy.
I know it's exhausting sometimes, but now it's like I kind of enjoy it because I can just like zone out and, I don't know, put on a podcast and hit the ground running.
Those moments are like few and far between right now.
Oh yeah. Especially with all this craziness and the quarantines, and I keep getting like all these updates from like neighbors and stuff, and they're like, oh, it's gonna go into like a martial law and all this stuff is happening, and I'm like, oh my God.
It's so true. I mean, it's been crazy. I feel like I get an email or text update every few minutes from different people, and just watching the other states and what's happened with those. I mean, that's been a little bit nerve-wracking too, just because I feel like we're right behind that, but
yeah, I feel like Utah's always like a little bit behind. It's kind of nice because it's tucked away, out here in the West, because outside of Salt Lake City, there's just all this openness before you get to anything else, which kind of makes you already kind of quarantined.
It's so true.
I'm like, but there's still so many people moving in and traveling and coming from in and out, and I'm like,
that was one of the biggest reasons why I went and kind of shadowed under my aunt for a while, was just because their market is what our market will probably be in the next 5 to 10 years,
Oh my God, right? I better buy now,
true.
Huh?
It's so true. And so
okay, go find me a house.
I'm ready when you are. So that's really why, like, I went there and just to see how she does it and how it works for her, and hoping to implement some of that here, because I just feel like our market will get to that point. It already does sometimes, where, like you said, with your townhome, where people were coming in. I mean, that was probably a multiple offer situation. That was crazy, is my guess. So,
oh yeah, they were all above asking, like every single one.
It's how it's happening. It's crazy.
And my background is in mortgage.
Oh, cool.
So like I kind of already have that like experience on like the more financial lending side. And that's one of the reasons why I moved here, is because I developed 2 mortgage programs.
Awesome.
And a lot of them are really easy to implement into the credit unions that Utah has. So that's one of the reasons, like, that's something that pushed me to come out here, because I was living in Elko, which is just like a cute little tiny cowboy
how
town.
could you live there is my question. I just drove
I
through
loved
Elko
it.
and I was like, who lives out here?
I loved it. Like, the thing about it is it took me a minute, okay, to like get used to it, because I'm from a small town, but like I was also 20 minutes away from like Akron, or 30 minutes away from Cleveland. So if I ever wanted anything, I could, if I wanted to go see a show or a concert, or go out and, to the city for nightlife or whatever. Yeah, it was very easily available. But when I moved to Elko, I was like, okay, well, this is just it.
Yeah.
Like, it is hours and hours to something else. So it was a little bit of an adjustment, just because, like the East Coast and, that side of the country is already so close knit that everything out here is more spread out, that it really took me a minute to adjust. But when I did, I was like, I freaking love it. Like, nobody bugged you. There wasn't traffic. The housing was affordable.
People go out. Do they like get drunk and go cow tipping? Is that what they do out there?
I have no idea what people like. There's a lot of like dirt bikes and 4-wheelers, or camping. It's more of like a kind of like a country kind of life. Like, people will take like pickup trucks out. I love it. I don't know. But I was like, yes, like nobody bugged me. Like, I just like lived my tiny little simple life. And I eventually, like, it grew on me like pretty hardcore, because there's like a few restaurants and there's enough shopping that you can like get away with it. There's not like a Target or anything, but there's like a Marshalls and like a Kohl's.
No Target.
But like, I don't know, like I got used to it pretty quick, and now I miss it.
I mean, that is fun though. I mean, I feel like if we could have a bunch of land out here, that's like ultimately what my husband would go for. He is the type that would totally want to be like in the boonies, and I'm like, if I'm like 20 minutes from Salvation, like that's fine, but so I mean, I totally understand it though. We did like on one of our little like outings with his company, we went to Iowa and lived there for a while, but I loved it.
Oh,
like,
fun.
I won't lie. And probably because they had vineyards. I mean, I'll get real. Like, they had vineyards. So I'm like, I have something to do. And I didn't have children yet at that point. So we just had a really fun time. But it was fun kind of being like in the vast open,
I miss it so much, because Ohio is really similar to that kind of terrain where it's like rolling hills and everything's super green and flat, like plush forests and stuff. I miss it so much. The thing I don't miss is humidity and my allergies.
The humidity is so bad.
Because the humidity makes the air so thick, and then like pollen or like all of that allergy stuff just gets stuck into the air. Oh my God.
Well, they had like
awful.
a couple tornadoes when we were there, and I was terrified. I was like, I don't do tornadoes.
I'm like a little bit okay with tornadoes. Like, I'm not a big fan of thunderstorms or anything, especially like I thought I was afraid of them like back in the day when I had like my friends and people around me like super close by. I was like never alone. I've never lived alone until very recently, until I moved here. But now I'm like out here, and I'm like, the earthquake the other day I was
and you
losing
felt it in South Jordan
all day long.
South Jordan's a little bit west, so it totally, you feel it there.
Oh my God. So my alarm went off at 7, and I'm like, okay, I'm drowsy, like I'm going to reach over and turn my alarm off. And as I like go to lay back down, because I always snooze
Yeah.
like just once. Because I heard that if you snooze more than once,
Yeah,
then you
you're
fall
done
into a
for.
deeper sleep and it ruins the rest of your day. So I stopped and I like just, have gone on, just snoozed just once. And then I lay back down. And as soon as my head hits the pillow, I thought I was dreaming. But there are like dents in my wall
Oh
from my bed
no.
frame, like slamming against the wall. The blinds on my windows were shaking. I go out of my bedroom and I look in my kitchen and like my cupboard doors are open, stuff's
Oh
falling
my
off my
gosh, that's
counters.
crazy.
Because my apartment's on the 3rd floor. It's like on the
Oh
top of my
yeah.
building. So I think like I felt it more than my neighbor said that she
I'm
felt it
sure
on
you
the
did.
1st floor. And it's crazy because my son sleeps in bed with me. He's slept in
Yeah.
bed with me since he was born. And he slept until like
Yeah.
almost 9
My
o'clock.
kids slept through it too.
Yeah, did not wake up.
I woke up. I'll tell you a funny story about that morning actually. So I'm still sleeping and all of a sudden I wake up to the jerking of the earthquake, right? So I'm like, I look over, my daughter came in our bed, so she's in bed with us. My son's like next to me in his crib. They're both still asleep. And I look over at my husband. He like pops out of bed, jumps into a doorway by himself. I'm like, John, hello, grab a child. Like, what are you doing? Get a kid. So,
oh my God.
we were also scared over here, but it was not as bad. And my husband, at least I know now, I'm like, if we're going to duck for cover, I need to remind you to grab one of our children.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just got to grab them both because he's like, nope.
Yeah, he's over there
Every man for
worrying about
himself.
how the world's going to, repopulate if something happens. Yeah, it was great. It was probably like the funniest experience I've had in a minute with that.
Oh my God, I was so terrified. And I felt so awful because my son has been begging for a dog. And I told him, I was like, okay, well, when you're 5, so in 2 more years, you can get a dog. Because I was like, well, at that time, he can feed and water it and help out a little bit. And I think it would, be like a good
My daughter
time
would
to
love an
start
animal.
like
She's 5,
doing,
so yes, I agree.
yeah, like chores, responsibility
Yes.
building exercises and whatever. But he kept asking me and kept asking me. And I'm like, okay, like I'm just going to look around at like a pound and, like see what kind of dogs are in a shelter just to see. I come across this like designer F1 golden doodle that somebody was like an owner surrender. And it happened to be in West Valley City. And most of my bookkeeping business I do from home, but I do the bookkeeping and stuff for the Maverick Center.
Oh, yeah.
So that's in West Valley City. So I handle like all the finances for like events and like stuff that goes on there. And I was like, okay, well, like there's an animal shelter in West Valley City. I'm just gonna stop and see, what's going on there on my way home from work. And okay, anytime I feel like a woman is like, I'm just gonna stop and look at puppies. It's
No.
like it's just not gonna
Yes.
happen. You're gonna come home with a dog. So so I go in and I was like, hey, I saw a couple dogs that I thought were cute online. I'm looking for my son. So if any of these dogs like aren't good with kids, let me know. And I see this golden doodle. She's like a chocolate golden doodle. And I'm like, oh my God, I love doodles. Can I look at her? And she was still in like the quarantine phase. So she was only there a couple days. Her name is Zeppelin,
cute.
like Led Zeppelin. And it's hilarious because a few years ago, I had another doodle and his name was Axl Rose. And so I'm like, okay, this is perfect. And she's like the sweetest, most perfect dog ever. But the earthquake happened. I think it was like the morning after her first night with us. So she's like,
Poor
being abandoned by her family, dealing with, being in the pound for 5 days. And then she comes home to this new family. She's great with my son, but like he's 3, so he's a lot. And, a new home, a new place, and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden she wakes up and her whole world is shaking, like literally, pun intended. And I'm just
How
like, you poor
sad.
thing.
Is she doing okay now, or is she
I
like
know. It
still a
was
little
terrifying. Oh, she's warming up.
Oh,
She's
good.
getting used to everything. But oh my God, this poor dog. At least because West Valley is way closer to Magna. So I'm like,
It would have
imagine
been
if she was like
awful.
at the
Yeah,
pound
I
and
had
going through an
a
earthquake.
few
That would
of
have
my
been worse, I
siblings
think.
live in West Jordan, like off 7800 South and like far west, and they said it was
Oh,
awful.
yeah.
I mean, they were pretty traumatized, and they could feel all the tremors after. So I was like, I couldn't feel the tremors at all afterwards. Did you?
I
Oh my
felt one this
gosh.
morning.
No.
Yeah. Like, it was crazy. It happened all
Oh,
day long and into like the next day. Because I didn't go to work that day at the Maverick Center, but I went the next,
okay.
like the day after that. And it was still a little
That's so
shaky
crazy.
there.
Yeah, I feel like it was just the worst thing to happen to Utah at that time, because everyone was already so scared and stressing out about the coronavirus, and now it's like we had an earthquake and it did some damage, I'm like, yeah, I was reading on the news
Did it really?
that there were like the JCPenney building, like you could see it like on the columns, and there were a few different places like it knocked down one of the COVID-19 like centers that they had. I know, I was like, oh, this is just a mess. But it's just sad.
See, I am trying not to watch the news because I am somebody who like I'm already
I feel
anxious,
you, really.
like I already cause enough problems to myself. And I'm just like, I'd rather just, enjoy, the blissful
It's
ignorance
so true
of what's
like
going on and just
I seriously
pretend
tell my
like it's
husband
not
that
happening.
almost every day because he loves to read the news. And I'm like, I don't want to know. Like, we have children. This is the world we're bringing them up in. I don't need to be terrified that, this is just going to be traumatic. So.
Yeah, I'm like, there's already so many other things that terrify me, especially as a mother. Like,
I know. Well,
stop
especially
adding
for
to my
you.
plate,
I mean,
news.
that's so hard being a single mom. I can't even imagine, honestly, especially with all this going on. Like, it's a lot. I can only imagine what you're going through. So I like hands down to you because that's hard.
Well, I only have one. You have two.
My second is an angel.
Double
Let
trouble.
me just tell you, I waited for a long time to have him because my daughter was a handful and I love her to pieces and she is mommy's clone, but she is a handful. And I'm like, listen, I don't need anyone else bossing me around throughout the day. So let's hope to God, number one, it's a boy, which we got. And number two, he is an angel baby. And I'm like, now I get why people want 5 kids because he's amazing. And really both my kids are amazing. But, it's just the simplicity of him is very nice.
New year, new wine. And of course, I'm talking nakedwines.com. If you haven't tasted the delicious, independently crafted wines from boutique winemakers around the world, can you even call yourself a fellow wine mom? Debatable. But don't worry, I got you, girl. Use code MOMMYWINES50 or click the link in the show notes below to receive your first 6 bottles delivered right to your door for only $34.99. That's $34.99 for 6 bottles of wine delivered to your door with code MOMMYWINES50. You're welcome.
I know. I went through this phase and I grew out of it, but I was like, Milo was the best baby. And then he got to a toddler age and I'm like, no, he is like the devil reincarnated. I'm gonna die. He's gonna murder me in my sleep. I'm gonna have I some days feel like I'm just on the verge of a heart attack every moment. But then there was this window of time where I'm like, oh my God, I miss him being a baby so much. And I feel like that's when people have another kid because if I was like in a relationship or if I was married, you know,
Yeah.
luckily there was just nobody around, or else I probably would have 2 kids. But like that, I feel like that has to be the window. And I feel like that's probably why so many kids or siblings are like a year and a half to 2 years apart.
I waited 5 years in between mine. But and that's it for me. I'm done. We have 2 and I'm done. I'm like, I'm getting too old for this.
I'm
like,
done.
It's okay. Like, I don't want to be taking kids to high school functions when I'm like super old. So I'm like, it's fine. I'm totally
like
fine.
grandma.
Like 35, second kid, done.
Oh my gosh. I think I outgrew it. I think I'm done with Milo. He'll just be an only child and grow up to be this spoiled rotten brat and just cause havoc
you
on
just
the,
have to have him
society.
play with
It's
people
fine.
and have social interaction and know how to share, and he'll be just fine.
Sharing right now
Such
is
a challenge
my biggest
with
struggle.
those little ones.
So on this podcast, towards the end of the episodes, I do like to do a confession. Did you listen to any of the previous episodes?
I listened to the beginning, but I didn't finish a couple.
Okay. So maybe off the top of your head, it can be anything. It can be an embarrassing story, a funny story. It can be a mommy fashion. I know everybody has plenty of those, but we just like to, confess and then wash away our sins with some rosé.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends what you want. I have the longest list.
Whatever you feel like sharing.
Let's see. I mean, a few. Okay, well, I really love music. I really love live music. And in my younger years, I always I was a little bit of like a roadie without being a roadie. So I would just go to concerts and I don't know what it was. I always met singers or who was playing, it just happened. So, I mean, I guess oh my gosh, I'm I don't know. I'm trying to decide how much I want to really divulge here. I'm where do I want to go with this? Do I want to go? I mean, I met the Whalers before, right? I'm
it's okay. I'll forgive
you. So many people. I've had some fun times, but I mean, I've done a lot of fun, crazy things in my day. But I think one of my most fun experience I had was there was a band and they were giving out a free shirt, and I ran right up to the front of the stage and I grabbed the singer and I gave him a big fat smooch to get the shirt so that no one else would get it. And then I dated him for a minute and it was fun. And, and he was nice and we're still friends to this day.
Cute.
So, that's one. Or, I mean,
are you going to share what band it was?
So yeah, he was just local, but it was fun.
Really?
I'm not going to share the name, but it was super fun. And yeah, I mean, stuff like that. I mean, I can also talk about the fact that sometimes I will start to have a glass of wine at 3:00 during COVID-19. I mean, let's just get real, but
okay. I feel like that's everyone's confession as of late.
Yeah. I mean,
mine was the earthquake. I was like, okay, this is enough.
Seriously, I know. That's
pop a bottle.
My thing. I mean, I have so many more. Those were just my mild cases, which is great.
I know. I recently drove out to Elko, and on my way back, I stopped at Lee's Discount Liquor, in Wendover. And it says discount liquor, but it is incredible how much Utah jacks up prices.
Yeah.
Of anything.
I know. I kept thinking I wish I went to Costco in California and stocked up on the giant bottles of liquor while I was there, but I did not do that.
Yes. Well, oh yeah, you said you were driving too. I was like, at least I was driving and it wasn't that far, because I've heard mixed reviews and I don't know if this is illegal or not, but every time I go to Elko or anytime I go to Wendover, I always stop there
Mhm.
and bring alcohol back. And I always thought like it was, and this can be my confession, whatever, but I always thought like you couldn't drive
Yeah.
around with open containers. But I've also recently heard since being in Utah that you can't cross, like, since I'm buying it in Nevada and I'm driving home to Utah,
Oh,
that
well, I
like
break
that
that
is
rule
also
too.
illegal. And I think everybody does. Every drinker who lives in northern Utah does the same thing. So I don't think they really care, because if they did, like, their
Yeah.
just jails would be overwhelmed. But yeah, like I've always been used to, stock up at home and then we drive to like Pennsylvania or West Virginia or, wherever, go camping or go for like a little like weekend thing. So I've never thought twice about like
Yeah.
crossing any kind of state line. But who knows? Maybe I am just a criminal in disguise of a wine loving
I'm exactly the same. I
mom.
mean, seriously, I can think of a lot of circumstances where I probably didn't do what I was supposed to. Even though, we try our best. Like, what can we do? That's the most that
Yeah.
we can do.
That's
It's
all
true.
you can
It's
do.
true.
Is
And
just
I
do
mean,
your best.
sometimes we have to lock ourselves in our bedrooms when our kids are having fits, which is another thing that I do at times. I'm like, I'll be back.
Oh my
I'm
God.
checking out. I'll see you in 5.
Mine is the
smarter.
bathroom. And yeah, I lock myself in the bathroom and I turn on the water and I just, sometimes I just rock myself in the corner. No, I'm just kidding.
Red rum.
But like the Zeppelin. This dog like has barked 3
How
times since I got it.
cute.
It's the greatest dog ever. She's so cute. You can
I'll
follow
have to do
her
that.
on Instagram if you want. Okay, maybe this is my confession, because I'm not a Pinterest mom. I'm not crafty. I'm just like, I try to do cute things like that, and they're just like epic fails every time. The only thing I can make that I do think
Oh
is
my
cute are
gosh, that's
cheeseburger
amazing.
cupcakes. So yeah, if you ever want cheeseburger cupcakes, that's like the one thing in my life
so
that I've
much.
mastered.
That sounds brilliant.
But I took her to the groomer because I'm like, okay, I got this dog from the pound. I don't know when the last time she had a bath. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to take her to the groomer. And she came home and they had a little bandana on her. And I'm like, oh my God, that is the cutest thing. So I was like, she looks so cute. I'm going to look on like Etsy or I don't know, wherever you would get dog bandanas. And I'm like, I'm not seeing anything that I really fell in love with. And I live right next to like Hobby Lobby. And I was going past Hobby Lobby to get to Petco, and I'm like, wait, like they have all this like fabric in there. And
Oh
I've
my gosh,
always
me too.
wanted to sew something, but I've just never found anything that would be like easy enough for me to sew, because I've never sewn a day in my life. And now, before we jumped on this recording, I could not stop looking at Hobby Lobby, and I'm like thinking about making a little Etsy shop dog boutique, because I feel like a dog bandana could be something easy for me and my unskilledness. And then I could just make them however I want. So I know I'm going to love them, and, whoever has my taste might like them too.
One of my other confessions is I have a pillow problem. Like, not a minor one.
Oh, I
like,
love this
I'm
double
talking
confession.
A real one. My basement looks like a Home Goods. And granted, I do staging. So like I need them. But for sure, like in my bedroom, for instance, my husband thought it was funny one day to take all my pillows that were on just this main level of our home and stick them in our bedroom. And the entire bedroom was full. Like, I'm talking bed, floor, like everywhere. And he's like, tell me that you don't have a problem. I'm like,
You don't do the
no,
covers?
I want to.
See, I have a Rubbermaid, like one of those holiday decor Rubbermaid containers. And it's full of pillow covers. And then I just take the cover off. I put it in the washing machine. And then I switch it out if I ever want like a different look, or if it's a holiday.
Also buy them in 5 million sizes because I'll find a texture. Then I'm like, ooh, this one's like perfect for doing that karate chop right in the middle of your pillow. Or like, it does. It just,
I feel like Home Goods does that to you.
And just you're stuck. I mean, so this is kind of off topic, but random. The only other place I've ever been, if you've ever been to a casino, it's not like you get in there and you totally lose track of time, right? Like you lose track, whatever. Well,
oh yeah.
Okay.
I used to live in Vegas and work at Planet Hollywood. So
the only other time in my life that's ever happened to me is at the RV show. Have you been to the RV show? Okay, I ended up in there for like 5 hours. And I was like, this is like oddly satisfying.
Oh my God.
I mean, I just was like, I kind of want one because they're cool and I could like decorate it and do fun things and go out with my family. But anyways, we got there and by the time we were done, it was like 10 o'clock at night. And I was like, oh my God, I just spent 5 hours in here. It's just like a casino. So totally off topic, but that really made me think of that.
See, I don't have any desire to buy an RV unless I have like a house and like a place to park it, or like, I don't know, somebody to maintain it. There's so many things that I just feel like I would need a husband for, and it's nothing fun. It's just like oil changes, lawn maintenance. Like, I just really need like a good personal assistant, maybe not a husband, but I want to take Milo on a camping trip, and I really want to go to Jackson Hole. And I found this thing. It's called RV Share.
Yeah, I've heard
like
about
the
that recently.
Airbnb for RVs. And you can just like rent them and take them wherever you want to take them. And I don't know, they're just some random people's RV in, I don't know, Harriman or something. And you just go to their house and drive their RV
They're
away.
so expensive. I mean, really, it's like a second residence, So they are really expensive, but they're cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
they are very
my
expensive.
husband likes to be outdoors and my kids do, my daughter does, and I'm sure my son will. So it seemed like a good option for someone that doesn't like to sleep on the ground, which is me, I'm like, I'm not sleeping on the ground in a tent. What are you talking about?
Have you seen the camping spots?
Are
They're
those
called
the ones
under
with like
canvas?
a canvas tent where they have like a big bed in them and stuff? Yes, I like glamping. I would do glamping.
Yes, I've been giving them so many shout outs. They should just let me stay for free. But like, that's one of the things that I've been also looking into because they're also super dog friendly. And I just think it would be really awesome. And there's one up in Yellowstone that I've been looking at, but I've been thinking about doing this mommy wines like retreat where like I send an invite to like all the previous guests, and they're opening a under canvas in Sonoma. And I think that would be so fun just to get like a big group of moms together. And I have this like anxiety coach, like energy healer who's like interested in doing a session and just like all these random things. So I've been like kind of in the background trying to plan that and get like the logistics for that out of the way so we can start thinking about doing that. But I was like, this under canvas situation, I'm just like living for it because I don't want to do regular camping. like I'm okay without it. But like the under canvas or like the RV share,
I mean, it's so like it just makes it so much easier. I don't know. You want to be comfortable. we're women. We want to be like
Yeah.
slutty and cute as much as possible.
Yeah. And I love being outdoors too. I just
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
like want to sleep in dirt. And so
Yeah.
like I like the outside. I like looking at the outside, but I don't
Me
want to
too.
be
And
like
I like to have,
immersed
a
fully,
toilet is
you know,
my like number
in the
one.
outside.
Is I'm like, I want a toilet. I don't want to be squatting over there next to the tree
Yes.
where everyone can suddenly see me. So
I'm also afraid of, I'm extremely allergic
that's
to
like a
poison ivy,
legitimate
poison
concern.
oak, and all
Yeah.
those things. Yeah, like like in Ohio, if I were to walk through the woods and like
Yeah.
the wind
Yeah.
would blow,
No, that's
my whole
awful.
body would be covered. And it's been nice being out here because there's not so much of that. But I feel like if you get more into like a greener area or something, because like this is kind of
Mhm.
deserty. Like I think Utah's super deserty or high plains or I don't know, whatever they call it. But there's not a lot of like greenery. It's more like pine trees and like thicker
Yeah.
kind of wilderness. But like when you get into like the weeds and like the grass and the ivy and super green stuff, then that causes a problem for me. And I'm like, I don't want
Yeah,
to be
that makes me
outside
nervous.
and
And then
have
we've got
poison ivy
those,
on my
I
butt.
don't remember what they're called. My daughter got stuck with them this last summer. They were like, they're little pokies on the leaves. And they cause you to like have a reaction instantly.
Oh yeah.
And they just like sting for the next little while. Like you get these tiny little fibers like in your skin. So yeah, I'm out when it comes to stuff like that. I'm like, no, skipping.
Yep. Me too. Well, go ahead and share with everybody where they can find you, things you're working
So
on, or
basically,
whatever you
Rachelle
want to
Hague
share.
Realtor, which we have an Instagram account, or Opal House Real Estate, and we have an Instagram account with that as well. And then we are also on Facebook. But yeah, you should check us out. We do newsletters every month that we send to our clients, just giving helpful information on tips and tricks, places to go, upcoming listings, things like that. I would love to help anyone out with any of their real estate needs. So Rachelle Hague, find me and let me know if you have any questions.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being my guest today. It was
great.
amazing having you.
Perfect. Thank you.
We'll stay in touch for sure. This was super fun.
Are you a fan of the Mommy Wines podcast? Well, of course you are, or you wouldn't be hearing this right now. One of the best ways to support the show you love, besides obviously tuning in every Wine Wednesday for new episodes, is shopping the Mommy Wines merch store on teespring.com. This is where you'll find all of the Mommy Wines branded goodness, mugs to hold your coffee over cardio morning Java, iPhone and Samsung cases, premium ultra soft hoodies perfect for upcoming cooler months, and of course flowy tees and tanks flattering on every mommy out there. Go shop the Mommy Wines storefront on teespring.com and make sure to use code WINEMOM for free shipping. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Mommy Wines podcast. Make sure to leave a rating and review. To support the show you love, check out the exclusive branded merchandise on themommywines.com. For extra sassy, honest, and potentially controversial content, make sure to join me over on the Mommy Wines Patreon. Also, don't forget to check out the other shows on the MW Network. If you love scary stories and true crime, you'll love Tales After Dark. More shows are coming soon, so make sure to stay connected on social at Mommy Wines Podcast. And until next Wine Wednesday, mamas, parent and drink responsibly.